I'm going to fly through a couple of these slides and I want to get Q&A as quickly as possible. So how do I do research? At the moment, knowing what I know now. Here's one example. So here I am on Twitter, T. Ferriss, an atrocious handle, atrocious username. I mean, nobody spells that correctly. It's terrible, but it's a little too late. Full disclosure, I'm an investor in Twitter. That's part of what I've done since the book came out, is invest in tech startups and advise tech startups. So this was for a speaking engagement recently. I spoke at WordCamp, which is a blogging conference for WordPress. And you can see here, what would you like to know about how I blog? Please tell me and vote here. I use a service called ping.fm to post to Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn at the same time. It saves me a lot of hassle managing multiple status updates. Now, when they clicked on that link, it took them here. So this is slinkset.com. Slinkset is a Y Combinator startup. It's a very small startup. It allows you to create your own dig. What does that mean? That means that people can submit different ideas, stories, what have you. And then everyone who visits the site votes them up or down. So you can see here, what's the ultimate goal of blogging? What do you track after a post is published? This is with hundreds of different votes in about 30 minutes. So you immediately knew what the most salient topics were that I should discuss. Last but not least, Evernote is effectively my external brain. You can use that to take snapshots of full websites. You can read them offline. You can also do cool things like take photographs of line labels or anything written, and that text becomes searchable. So you can use it to capture just about anything. So I'll use that as I'm gathering data for potential blog posts, for example. Video and photos, I won't spend too much time on this. I've experimented quite a lot with videos and photos, and some have done much better than others. So this video right here, this is how to peel hard-boiled eggs without peeling them. I did this in about a minute and 50 seconds. It was a one-take wonder, and it has about 2.5 million views now on YouTube. In contrast, I spent ages with a videographer going to Sharpenburger Chocolate doing a 4-part series on how to taste chocolate. Not even 1/10 the number of clicks. So there is really almost no relationship between effort, invested time investment, and results when it comes to views of video. This was also on the homepage of Dig and a number of other sites. It was on Reddit. I believe it was on Reddit, reddit.com. That's a very technical social ranking site. So what I found with video, 1 to 3 minutes max. 0, so 1 second to 3 minutes. If you want to really get a lot of hassle on valuing social media. And you have to understand that it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make you money. Right? So don't waste a lot of time on viral videos and shit. A very clear correlation. So, or better yet, causation. How do I do that? The way I do that is I never tell the whole story in the video. All right. I always have something very, very cool in the video that's sufficiently interesting in and of itself, and then I have text. I have text that clarifies certain points, adds certain elements. What does that mean? That means that people have to link to my site. Someone linking to my site is more valuable than someone going to YouTube and viewing that video. That's number 1. So the other example here, this is just a side note for people who want to perhaps create their own blog posts but lack resources or copyright approvals. This is a great photograph of a passport, and the way that I find these photographs is by going to Flickr, FLICKR.com, and then going to advanced search, searching Creative Commons, and then sorting by most interesting. And you can find some amazing photographs, and you can use them as long as you provide the credit. Generally speaking, it's limited to non-commercial sites. I do not have any advertising on the site. This post, a side note, how to be Jason Bourne, multiple passports, spanking across the border, was to help a friend of mine, Neil Strauss, whose book Emergency came out recently. This took his book from 650 on Amazon to 25 and stayed there. And this was the only promotion online being done at the time, so that is 100% accountable. Part of the way it garners so much traffic is through a site called StumbleUpon. StumbleUpon.com is similar to, it provide a lot of traffic, but it's more consistent over time, and it doesn't drop off as quickly as something like Bing. So this had about 80,000 visitors in 24 hours from StumbleUpon. If you want to try advertising online, the cheapest qualified traffic online, in my opinion, is through StumbleUpon. I highly commenting, just a note on how I comment. So how to lose 20 pounds of fat in 30 days. You can see I do a lot of guinea pig work on myself. It has more than 2,000 comments at this point. Comments can become very overwhelming very quickly. Blogging can become a self-imposed hell very, very quickly if you let it. You don't have to let it. You don't need to follow anyone else's rules. There aren't rules. I treat my blog as I would treat my living room. If I have a dinner party and then somebody shows up, they get drunk and rowdy, knock over my table and start insulting someone, they're gone. They are eliminated from my future dinner party. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than getting a comment that's like 10 pages long, which starts with something like, "You are the white horseman to our children. I shall deliver you upon judgment day." That's a real comment. After a post that I did on raising money for public schools, so go figure. But seeing that, deleting it, just knowing that they spent an hour, I go, oh, I'm sorry. I police my blog, and I have a close to zero tolerance policy. Criticism is encouraged as long as it is tactful. It's something, attacking other readers is absolutely not allowed. I delete those people, or I blacklist them. And as a result, there was a site recently who did a reader quality analysis of the top 100 blogs in their estimation. I was one of those blogs. And what they did is they hired people on Amazon Mechanical Turk, which is a type of outsourcing. They get thousands of people to do something very simple for a few cents each. And they went through and they ranked the comments on the most recent 10 posts or so from 1 to 10. And my readership ended up having, or ranking #1 for reader quality score. So to give you an example, if I put up a post about swimming, which I did during the Olympics, and how I conquered my fear of swimming, I had a response from a former silver medalist in the Olympics and national team coach in the comments within the first 20 or so comments. So I want to point out here how I encourage proper behavior. So comment rules. I actually borrowed this from Brian Hilberger. So remember what Fonzie was like. Cool. That's how we're going to do it. Cool. Critical is fine, but if you're rude, we'll delete your stuff. And then in bold, please do not put your URL in the comment text, and please use your personal name or initials and not your business name, as the latter comes off like spam. Have fun. Thanks for adding to the conversation. I encourage you to copy this. I'm not going to be a fan. I didn't think that the bolding would work. I didn't really think anyone would read it. As soon as I added in that bolded part about not spamming with your own website, cut down on about 90% of it. So preemptive editing can work quite well. How not to pitch. All right, so this is a shot of Tucker Max. Tucker Max is very